Hi guys, I'm not sure if that last comment was directed at me. Came in at a bit of a break, but good to see you again.
How are you, Roy?
Well, thanks.
How's the weather in South Africa today?
Very hot, very hot.
Very warm.
We've got horrendous rain.
Yeah, it's not warm in the UK.
Yeah, I've got a daughter somewhere there, so I'm in up to speed with the peaks.
Oh, well, you say you got a daughter somewhere in the UK. Do you want us to help find her, or do you know where she is?
No, I know where they are. No, they're in Birmingham.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
We're still a couple of minutes. There's people piling on. For those of you who just joined, if you could mute yourself out, that would be amazing. We are. There's lots of people still joining, so we're probably a couple of minutes away from starting the meeting, ladies and gents. But once we do crack on, then oh wow,
Somebody's now joining.
that's quite impressive. So again, for those of you, I mean, you're all piling in now. Thank you very much. Just going to let the flurry of people come on, and then we'll start the meeting. Okay, if we could ask everybody who's joining just to mute their microphones, that would be really cool. That'll save Rob.
Just give it another.
Okay, I am off mute. Sorry, it's me chatting away to all of you and I was on mute. Just going to give it a couple of more minutes because there's lots of people still joining the meeting, and Rob here is letting them in. So just give us a couple of minutes. For those of you joining, if you could mute, that would be wonderful. And it will just be a couple of more minutes before we get started. Okay, ladies and gents, we've still got people coming into the meeting, so I promise you in 60 seconds we're going to start. So 2 minutes or 3 minutes past we'll crack on. So for everybody that's come on, thanks for being on time. We'll just let the tardy people join the meeting for the next 60 seconds. Okay, good morning, everyone. And for those of you that don't know me, this is quite rare for me to do a webinar where there's as many people on the call that I don't know, that I do know. In typical fashion, more people are joining, but I'm just going to crack on. My name is Robert Nunn. I'm the MD here at Viegli. To my right is Rob, another Rob, just to make things really easy. Rob Butler, who heads up our activity on headsets, which is wonderful, which is why you are all here. So without further ado, let me start the meeting with the welcome. Thank you so much for coming on board. For those of you that do know me, you'll know that I make these things as brief as possible and hopefully as not boring as possible. So what you won't get from me is me preaching to you for the next 30 minutes about what you should be doing. In terms of housekeeping, because this is quite a large Teams meeting, if I could ask you all to be muted during the call. But if at any time you do have a question, you'll notice at the top in Teams we've enabled the Q&A, and Rob here will be moderating the Q&A. And if we need to stop and answer any questions, we will do so. And then at the end of the presentation, I'll invite you all to come off mute and ask any questions that you've got. So without further ado, for those of you who have got no idea who we are, Viegli means easy in Latvian, which seems like a really good idea at the time. But our distribution journey is only a couple of years old. So we used to be, pre-April 2020, a Unify reseller. Unify, of course, formerly Siemens Enterprise. And we got asked by Unify to look at a product called Call to Teams, which is middleware that sits between PBX and Microsoft Teams. And we liked that product so much that we asked Unify if we could distribute the product, and they said yes. And we stopped being a reseller. Seemed like a good idea at the time. And we started to bug Unify about the fact that there should be more than one distributor in the UK for Unify. And in June of 2021, we were appointed as the second UK distributor for Atos Unify. For those of you who aren't aware of Unify, Unify are Europe's #1 telephony vendor. Used to be Siemens Enterprise Communications, rebranded in 2014 to Unify. And they're still Europe's #1, and I think it's #2 or #3 globally, but we don't really care. But our distribution ethos is unique, I think, in the fact that we're only ever look to do one of a particular thing. So we will never sell a different platform to Unify to our reseller channels. And we're 100% on board today talking about headsets. And we'll only ever, certainly the intention is to only ever distribute the VT brand of headsets in the UK. So what we try and do is to bring expertise and knowledge to the reseller so that you can take on board or use the hundreds of years of combined experience that we've got. And it also means there's zero conflict of interest. So, you know, we're not going to pair, vendor off vendor B. And everything for us is about supporting what we do. So everything we do comes with white label marketing resources. And we're very keen to make it a partnership. So that's a little bit about Viegli for those of you that don't know us. But what I'm going to do is take you back in history to my previous roles. For those of you that know me, you probably didn't know that from the mid to late 90s to the mid to late noughties, all I did was source equipment from China. And the biggest one of those was, for those of us that are old enough to remember the wonderful days of single line dialers before something called carrier pre-select came along. Actually sourced 8 million single line dialers from China. Those were the good days. But I also created ranges for the likes of Argus and Dixon's. USB phones and headsets were coming into the UK market there. And I was entirely responsible for Audi's version of the Tesco Internet phone. And of course, I'd sourced Tesco Internet phone on its own. And we've built, over the last 6 or 7 months, a very, very good relationship with Vivek Zyman, who are on the call, who are responsible for the VT brand. And they very graciously agreed that we could be exclusive distributors for the UK and Ireland for their already established brand of headsets. So the VT brand is well established in Central and Northern America, in Asia, and in lots of Eastern Europe. There's already a very good presence for the VT brand. So I have history in doing this, and they're really good guys. They're on the call, which is lovely. So what's our goal for Viegli? Our goal is to deliver premium products around our Unify-centric approach into the reseller channel in the UK. And what VT brings for that promise is premium product at mid-market pricing. We're giving you a reseller channel only promise, and I'll go on to that in more detail later on. And of course, there's great margins in the product for our reseller channel. So if we look at the headset and the opportunity, I know Rob, bless him, has done a brilliant job in talking to you all and getting you onto the call. But you're probably not aware of how big the headset market is. And as industry sectors go, it is the fastest growing industry sector in telecoms and UC. So right here, right now, it's worth $44 billion with an anticipated growth of over 30% for the next 5 years. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand why this is. If we look at this meeting now, almost all of you are joining on either a headset or via some form of speaker on your PC. So the days of where we all used to get together and do this stuff in a room are a thing of the past. Personally, I spend 40 to 60% of my working week in online meetings. So, COVID has done us all a massive favour in terms of creating this opportunity for us. But the brutal reality, the bit that most people almost struggle with in terms of the opportunity is the opportunity is actually at the mid and high end of the market space. Because we're all involved now in these wonderful meetings, what people and what users are looking for are very comfortable devices with great audio qualities that also pair to their smartphones or their tablets, so they can listen to music at the same time. So we're focusing most of our effort in terms of portfolio at the mid to high end of the market space. But here's the challenge. What's the challenge been for resellers? And all of the people that I know on this call I've spoken to about headsets, and I know this is the case. The challenge for the market space with, say, a Plantronics or a Jabra, Sennheiser, or any of the other inverted commas market leaders is that when you buy these products through distribution, you're not making any money because these products are being brought into the UK grey. They're being sold online by various different people with next to no margin. You've got second user equipment, infiltration, and being sold as new. So it's a messy marketplace. And then, of course, we've got the cheap and nasty alternatives, which is, again, a false science, for want of a better word, for our resellers, where to try and compete and to make margin, they're buying cheap and inverted commas nasty product. And more often than not, the channel sees headsets, certainly the traditional telecoms channel, sees something as I should be supplying this, but I'm not looking to make any money out of it. It's just a customer relation thing, which means that there's very little brand loyalty in the channel. And I'm arrogant enough and stupid enough to think that I can absolutely change that with the VT brand. So we're making real promises about the brand. So you can only get them exclusively from us in the UK. So there's step one. We will not allow people to discount online. So anybody that's going to be a VT reseller will basically agree with our ethos, which is we're all in it together. We all want to create margin. So I will not put this online at 30% off RRP in an attempt to sell more. So we just won't allow you to do that. If you do it once, we'll stop you from doing it by not supplying the product. Because the whole point of what we're trying to achieve is that the reseller channel has got a headset brand that can be proud of, but more importantly, a headset brand that you can actually make decent margin on. So we've priced the headsets at mid-market level for the premium product with very healthy margins on them. And then our promise to you is straightforward. If you don't do that, then we can provide things like bid support. So if you've got a deal that you need to get over the line and you need additional margin, we'll support you. We've created a suite of white label marketing assets that can be branded in your own company image to make it easier for you to sell the VT headsets. And of course, we'll sample and our friends at VT are providing us with bags and T-shirts and bits and pieces that we can deliver as freebies. And you'll see here from the graphic that ultimately we'll end up with 3 tiers of VT reseller. And our goal for today is to see how many of you want to come on board. So, and immediately be VT authorised. And the last thing about managing the SSPs and the retail price. So early next week, our Amazon store will go live. And the Amazon store is entirely at what we suggest the RRPs are. And we're doing that to reinforce the buying habits of one of your customers. So when you present to your customer that the 8200 is 72 quid, for instance, if they do go online and search for that product, then the first thing that they'll see by proxy on Google is anything that's on Amazon, and they'll see the product at the same retail price. So we'll be reinforcing that SSP pricing via the Amazon store. We've got no expectation to sell any via Amazon. If they do, then great, fantastic. But we are using that to reinforce the pricing of the said product. So that's us in a nutshell. That's our ethos. That's what we're looking to achieve. And you know, for our unified brethren on the call, you've got instant access to this, obviously, because you're already live with us. If you want to come on board and sell VT headsets, then it's a very straightforward account opening process, and away we go. The range. Let's talk about the range, because we're stocking in an initial range that should cover all of the aspects of the market space, and they are these 4 sectors. So we've got the traditional corded headsets for telecoms resellers that want to put headsets on desk phones with quick disconnect. We've got that covered. We've got a lovely range of USB corded headsets, a great range of cordless headsets, and a couple of other products in the portfolio too. So without further ado, let's look at what do they look like. Traditional corded, we're just going to go with the one model. If you need others, talk to us. We can do other variants of corded headsets. But the 6200, which is a mid-level, brilliant for contact center kind of product. As you can see, ex-VAT, either 23.32 or 24.99 as a retail price, plus your cord. Great audio quality, all day comfortable, and there's a whole range of QD cords available, be it USB cord, be it smart cord, which is a great little device, or your RJ9, RJ45 variants for your traditional desk phones. So we're bringing a good number of these into the country, and that's traditional corded. Have we had any questions, by the way? Just
not as of yet. No.
If you do feel any questions, guys, don't forget the Q&A in the top of Teams if you want to ask a question.
Oh, yeah, I do have one.
We have a question.
No, it was a while ago. It was Sharon.
Okay.
So I think Sharon can hear us now, hopefully.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's good. If Sharon can hear us, that's wonderful. Okay, let's talk about exciting product. USB corded, massive expansion part of the market space. And again, the mid to exec level is where all of the action in the market is going. So we're bringing 5 models into the country to start with for USB corded. So the USB corded have all got inline controls. And once we get to 6300 and above, they're all MS Teams compatible. Other soft phones exist, but Teams seem to have won the collaboration view. So we've got the entry level kind of price point, let's say very inexpensive headset rather than cheap, which you can sell in volume, out to the one that both Rob and I have been using for the last few months, which is the 8200, which is this one here. The 8200 is an amazing headset for the money, 50 or 58 pounds retail, for unbelievable passive noise reduction, brilliant audio quality. It's a fantastic device. So it's one that you can make really good margin on and sell in massive volumes. But we've got those 5 models of USB headsets coming into the market space. And that covers all of the bases. Then we talk about cordless. So we've got Bluetooth and we've got DEC cordless in the portfolio, and we're only going mid-range to exec here. So whilst the 9200 is down as entry level, it's entry level for us. That's this wonderful device here. So this is a 9200 Duo. The audio quality on it is exceptional. The range is great. It's pretty damn comfortable for its price point. Then we go into the mid-level 9605, the X300 and the B320. The B320, which is this wonderful device, is complete with top level features like ANC, so that's automatic noise cancellation, and it really does feel like you're swaddling your ears in blankets when you wear these things. So the X300 and the B320 are comparable to anything out there premium wise from our competition at very aggressive price points, but again with really good margins. The 9605 is the picture there in the middle, which again is an incredibly comfortable, very good passive noise reduction headset. And with the cordless, you've got the addition of base stations and available. So they're available as complete kits from us, but we're buying them as individual items to make warehousing and stock keeping easier. So you can order these as composite kits, or you can order them as separate components. And the dongle just brings additional connectivity to lots of smartphones like Zoom, Teams, Jabber, Cisco, and so forth, are all part of the UC suite that the soft phone covers. And we are working with the factory to work towards full integration with Unify as well, which you would expect as us being the Unify partners. So that's the cordless range. It's a brilliant range. The 9400, which is this wonderful device, is also the DECT variant, which with electronic hook switch will work with pretty much any desk phone out there, and can also be paired to your PC at the same time. So that's a really cool product.
Got a question of, do you have a list of supported desk phones?
Yes, we do. We do have a list of supported desk phones, so we can provide that. Who's asked that question?
Jim Taylor.
Thanks for that question, Jim. Yeah, so what platforms do you work with, Jim? If you want to come off mute, you might as well just tell us. Or not, it's entirely up to you.
But that's fine, I can pick that up with Jim later on. And also Lee Pollard, we've got, will there be a compatibility checker?
Oh, yes, Lee, why not? We'll task you with making it for you, like that sort of thing. Yes, there'll be a compatibility checker, but the best way is to effectively ask your account manager, which is Rob or me, what down lead do I need to work with this headset? We have all of that information, as you'd expect. So, and if you're stuck, if I go back to the down leads, which is where we're talking, we have this wonderful RJ9 smart cord. So that has a selector switch on it, which means that it's got various different compatibility built in. So that smart cord is brilliant if you're unsure about what down lead you need, because it will work with about 85% of the existing desk phone market space. So, any more questions?
Yeah, I think Jim just dropped off the call, but I'll pick up with that, with your question, Jim, about your supported desk phones. But I'll pick that up with you later on.
Super stuff. Two other products in the range. We have this wonderful desktop speakerphone. I think we're all familiar with Jabbra's little speaker. To say that this is a copy would be unfair, because it's, in my opinion, way better. And I've had both of them side by side, and ours certainly outperforms the Jabra equivalent in terms of audio and audio pickup. And then this wonderful device that we're going to be using a lot, certainly in the cross-fertilization of having headsets and Unify in the portfolio, the sports headset, which is IP55 water rated, MS Teams compatible, but is a sports headset with a retail of £100, including VAT. So that finishes off the model range quite nicely. White label marketing, we talked about this. Mike is on the call, but is poorly, so he's not going to speak, bless him. Our marketing director has helped us put this together. So we've got a full suite of PDFs, social media assets, and everything else that can be branded. Is that somebody asking a question, or?
I've got a couple more.
No, we'll do the questions in a second. Let me just finish about the white label marketing assets. So the minute you've spent over £1,000 on headsets with us, if you ask us, we'll do your white label marketing kit for free. So that will include all of the rebranding and so forth, and then delivered to you as assets that you can use in your own social media and any of your proposals that you're sending to your clients. And then, like I say, this is ready to go, and we can turn that round in literally 2 or 3 days once you've spent some money on handsets and you've got an account with us. Then we'll quite happily do that. Let's talk about authorization levels. You know, we haven't got any professional or platinum or authorized resellers because we're only launching today, but it's really straightforward. So the entry level, the minute you open an account with us and we've had a chat and we all know what we're doing, you'll be authorized to sell the VT headsets. And that's where you'll stay whilst the spend's under £2,000 per month on average. And by proxy, you'll get 30% discount. Again, go back to the fact that if you need additional discount to help you win deals, we want to help you win deals. And of course, you can have the white label marketing kit. If you are becoming more successful and spend over £2,000 on average, then at which point we'll immediately bump you to a professional reseller status. There's additional discount there, and of course the bid support and white label will still be there. And then, you know, we're looking to have quite a few of you get to really decent spend on headsets, at which point there'll be more margin, and you'll be a platinum reseller. But it's really straightforward. You know, Viegli means easy, which means we make everything easy for you. You open an account, you buy headsets, happy days. You start to buy more headsets, you'll go further up the food chain, and the white label marketing kits will be redone for you to perfect your new status in terms of where you're at. Mention samples. Samples process is dead simple. We understand that sampling, you know, could be very important to you to help you win business. So the sample process is really simple. We'll send you the samples. We'll invoice those samples on 60-day terms. If they're returned in new condition, i.e. in their boxes and ready to go, then we will credit you. And, you know, as we go through this lovely journey together, ladies and gents, we'll regularly promote models or other things during the year to help you sell VT headsets in exactly the same way that we look after our existing unified base. Couple of things, I'm kind of done, so I'm going to invite you all to come off mute in a second and ask away in terms of questions, but 2 things that we need to do. Summer conference. So I know it sounds daft, we're only just into the new year, but these dates are incredibly popular. So backed by popular demand, we're going back to Northamptonshire Cricket Club on, as it stands, Wednesday the 31st of May, subject to them confirming that the room is available. And the same event effectively that we had last year, but just on steroids, because we'll have headset only resellers in the room. So it's 10 till 8. It's an amazing day of conference, and then we have some dinner, and then we stay for the T20 cricket, and then we go back to the hotel and drink some more, which is great. So summer conference, so put that date in your diary, Wednesday the 31st of May. Now the last thing to do before we open up the mics is prize draw time, because somebody on this call is going to win a headset. This is really exciting. So
top of the range.
If you could, yeah, a B320 with all of its goodies. So you need to share your screen, Rob, and go to our random prize wheel. This is very exciting.
On it.
There we go. So this is all of the names have been loaded into a wheel, and
Okay. And if they're not still on the call, then
yeah, if you're not still on the call and go, I'm here, then we'll spin again.
we've got Michael Crawford.
Michael Crawford, are you
I
here?
did see him on the call somewhere. He's dropped in and out, but is he still here?
Michael, are you here? You might be losing a headset, fella.
Unsure.
Rob, I'm here.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Surprised I never win anything. Thank you very much.
Well, there we go. So you've won a B320 headset and its lovely base station and a Bluetooth dongle. So we know where you are. So as soon as we get them, which is on Thursday or Friday, we'll ship one up to you, fella. Well done.
Thank you very much indeed.
That spinning wheel's the thing of you. You're never going to use that again. That's a great find. I have to tell the audience. Because you'll love this. And this is where we don't take ourselves very seriously. Rob actually came in and said, I put all of the names in a cup. And I was like, I can't read those.
I've still got 2020, you see, so I was just.
So we found a random wheel generator. So that's me done. I promised you that it wouldn't be dull and boring. Hopefully it wasn't dull and boring. Have we got any other questions?
We do have a few questions here. So I've got Mappier Tech. I've got, do your wireless headset support multi-point connection via Bluetooth?
Yes, they do. So most of the Bluetooth headsets can have 8, I think it is, saved pairings in, but most of them can pair to 2 devices at the same time. So you can have it paired to your mobile phone and your PC. So yes, they do.
Got Jim Taylor came back to us. He does Yearlink and Fanville.
Okay, both Yearlink and Fanville are supported. So I think that's the RJ9 connection, but the smart cord definitely works with those.
Cool. Is there any training adapters for dual headsets?
We can get those. So I haven't ordered any. My colleagues from China are on the call. So if there is demand for the training adapters, then we can source those. But yes, they are available as RJ45, RJ9, I believe, and USB. So we have a USB training adapter as well that we can source if you do need them. You as my reseller channel would define what this range looks like moving forwards. We've brought a range of headsets into the country that we think will work. But you will tell me whether that's right or not. So if you go, look, in one in 5 deals, we're selling Y adapters because we need the training cable, I'll stock them. If you need a lower range or a higher range product, I'll stock them. We've already got samples of new products leaving China on the 17th of January to be launched into the channel. As and when we've had a good play with them and when we think people will buy them. So my message to you guys on the call is tell us what you need, tell us what you want. I'm not going to dictate to you what the range looks like in a year's time. It will be the reseller channel that dictates to me what the range looks like. But our commitment is to have good stocks of the ones that are very popular. Of course, we haven't sold any yet, so I've got no idea which ones are going to be the most popular in the range. And again, relationships with you guys is the bit that makes that the most possible. So just having a transactional relationship with us will work, that's fine. But what we're really looking for is to understand, your needs, your business, what your pipeline looks like so that we can make sure as distributors that we're supporting you in the best way possible.
Yeah, so Marvin, you've talked about the compatibility checker to avoid you asking us each time. So we will create some sort of table that we can publish on our website to ensure that you can check those yourselves as well. We will indeed. Yeah. We'll make sure that you are aware of that, so you don't need to check with us every time. Yeah, I've got a good idea with that one. The Alan Williams, are the hook switch compatible? Is DHSG lead, etc. Take these will be on the compatibility guide. Yeah, so Mr. Williams, thank you for coming on. The EHS
brought into stock is fully compatible with Unify, which will be very relevant to you. And Babs has been using the decked cordless with EHS for a good few months now, and she loves it. So the EHS is fully compatible with Unify / Siemens phones.
Great.
Must be more questions.
We're up to date for now.
Come on, guys. Anybody got a question, feel free to come off mute.
How do we go about setting up an account and ordering some trial stock? Sorry, Jim Taylor again. How do we go about ordering some trial stock then?
Right, so the account form's on the website, which we can send. We can get Rob to send you straight after. Fill in the account. We'll send you the reseller price list. You place an order. We'll send you some stuff. It's that straightforward.
Thank you.
There are no barriers. We like to think we're fairly unique. We don't put any barriers in the way of doing business. So, you know, the account form will take you 5 minutes. You'll have an account live with us 15, 20 minutes later. And you know, the equipment, by the way, I should be honest, we don't actually have any in the warehouse. It's currently sitting in Felixstowe and it's due for delivery here on Friday. So we're shipping from Monday of next week. That applies to your prize winning as well, Michael. But yeah, Jim, it's dead simple. You know, Vietnam means easy, and we genuinely mean that. We're the easiest bunch of people in the world to deal with.
Thank you very much.
It's absolutely my pleasure. Must be more questions. Must be. Mike, you normally have a question. Come on, Mike, give me a question. I can see you on screen.
Well, I don't have a question, but I would like to add that the base station, the bases for those headsets can also charge your mobile phone at the same time, can't they? So there's additional value in some as well.
Thank you for my tardiness there. So the base station for the top of the range VTX or B320 also includes a QI charger, so you can charge your mobile phone on the desk on the base station, which is pretty damn cool. It is absolutely a stunning product. It's actually, if you've never had an ANC headset before, when you put it on and you turn ANC to full, it's like you're just immersed in the sound from the headset, and there's nothing else going on around you. It's actually quite disorientating to start with because you're just in a bubble. So I suspect that will become quite popular with gamers and the like, because you can absolutely just separate yourself from the outside world. When I said Mike, by the way, Mike actually meant Mike Gregory. I can see him there smiling away but not saying anything. And I forgot, I didn't want to pressure you into speaking because you're poorly, fella. Have you got any questions, Mr. Gregory?
I don't think so. I mean, I've been able to see it in your offices while you were showing the samples. My main question was, when can I start quoting it? Because I've got a couple of people who are already interested, and we want to fund it.
So the two assets that we'll send everybody straight after the call is we've got a PowerPoint show and a PDF of the entire range, which we can share. We've also got the authorised price list, which we can share with everybody on the call straight after or at some stage today. When we get our voice back. I'm just looking at people that have jumped on and look mildly interesting. So we've got Ali on the call. Is that, am I pronouncing that right, Ali and Anacheri? Do I get any prizes for getting your name correct, or?
Yes, this is Ali Ahanchan. So you can hear me, right?
Yeah, gotcha, fine. Any questions, sir?
No, I'm pretty happy to see the VT available in UK market. You having a VT headset which I brought from Malaysia to UK with myself. So I have been working with these products, quite reliable, and I'm pretty happy to see that this is now available here.
Sensational. Well, thank you so much for taking the time for coming on the call, my friend.
No worries. I love to work with you guys. So it's lovely products.
The door's open. Well, it's not. It's shut, but we can soon open the door when it's raining. You're more than welcome, my friend.
Yes, great.
I'm going to see other people that I can see that are on the call. So we've got Philip. Philip on the call. Any questions, sir?
No questions today. Enjoyed it. Be following it up with you guys.
Fantastic. Well, lovely. Thanks very much for taking the time. We've got somebody else that I know on the call, Harry from Greenfire over in Ireland. How are you, sir?
I'm great altogether. How are you guys?
Hey, well, you know, we're all actually recovering from illness. So I was ill all over Christmas. Mike's as sick as a dog. Rob's had a cold.
I'm all right now, though.
You need the iron from a couple of pints of Guinness and you'll be all right.
I'm actually, and here's the thing that you'll find very difficult to believe, Harry, is I'm on a year off.
Oh, coming back now for the cricket, are you?
Yeah. So that's going to be really interesting at the summer conference, isn't it? So if I get that far, I mean, people that know me will know full well that I say I'm going to have a year off. Yeah. Okay. I wonder how long that will last, but that's the plan. But it's
very good. Very good presentation, by the way. We're very interested in looking at some of this product. We do a nice bit of Plantronics and Jabra, and the pricing looks to align up very nicely. So we'll be definitely getting some sample kit off you guys, you know.
What I haven't done, Harry, but I will do is I haven't done the Euro price list yet, but I'll get that done this week and fire it over to you. And then
brilliant. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
No problems. Let's go through some other that I can see on the call. So Jim, we've got Tim on the call. Tim, have you got any questions, sir?
No questions from Tim.
Okay, we've got Eileen. I think that must be Eileen from ClearLink. No, we've got Sharon, we've got Tom. Any questions?
We've got a couple of Toms. We've got Tom Hunt and Tom Pierce.
Okay, so feel free to jump in, any of the Toms.
Tom Hunt here. I work closely with Tim, who's just answered. He's our resident headset guru, so I'm happy carrying on listening.
Fantastic, good stuff. Thanks for joining the call. I guess we've got an Andy. Andy, I can see an Andy.
Yeah,
I haven't got my glasses on, so.
Andy Peinado. So we said hello recently I had a meeting last week with Andy Peinado. It's nice to see you on the call.
Excellent. We've got.
Hi guys.
Hey mate.
Superb. How are you, Andy?
Not too bad. Just on the warranty side of the headsets.
Yeah.
Are they standard 2 years or was it what year?
Yeah.
Anything that's Teams compatible is 2-year warranty. Anything below Teams compatible is a year. So the less expensive end of it is a year. Everything that people will be buying is 2. To be fair. Hey, it's nice of you to come on the call, Andy. Thanks very much.
Thank you, guys.
No problems. I've just spotted Jim Burke. How are you?
Not too bad, and yourselves?
I'm not too bad, my friend. Happy New Year to you, Jim.
And to just a quick one on, do you know the wireless headset?
Yeah.
On the base station, can you have more than one headset registered to it?
Hey, I tell you what, I don't know the answer to that question, but we'll find out. I suspect the answer is yes, but I don't know the answer for sure. What I do know is with the base is that you can have the base connected to both the desk phone and the PC. But we will find out for you, Jim, if you can have more than one headset.
Is that just from? Okay, yeah, I've got it.
Just for the depth.
Yeah.
On 9400, I will find out and we'll come back to you, fella. But thanks so much for taking the time to come on.
Good question.
No worries. Thanks, lads.
Excellent stuff. So, what we got? There's a DD. Is that Dan Drake? Any questions, Dan?
Yeah, Dan Drake. No questions at all. Really interesting demo. Be interested to talk afterwards as well. I've got a few opportunities regarding also around the question of whether additional headsets can be connected to the decked base station. That'd be interesting to know.
Okay, I think my Chinese colleagues are still on the call. So Leo, if you're there, and if you caught that question in I know that the English-Chinese language barrier is sometimes an issue, but is it possible to register a more than one decked headset to the base at any one time?
Yeah, it's here.
They may not come on because they're just listening, but if Leo doesn't answer them, we'll definitely find that answer out for both Dan and for Jim.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Have I missed? There's lots of people on the call.
Lots of people.
We've got a Matt there that I can see.
Yeah,
Matt, any questions, sir?
No, I've already got mine answered. Thanks.
Superb. Well, thanks again for coming on.
Anybody else?
David Carroll's on the call, is he? That's a name I haven't spoken to for. Yeah, David Carroll, how are you?
Not too bad, Rob. Yourself?
Yeah, you're not fair to middling. How's the wonderful world of you, my friend?
Yeah, good, thank you. I haven't got any questions on the headset, so I think you covered most bases. But as and when we've got any opportunities, I'll be in touch. No doubt.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, fella, and happy New Year to you.
Yeah, and you.
Superb. I'll put my glasses on so I can see. We've got Lee's already asked. So we've got Keith. That's a name I don't recognise. Keith, is that Fugiel? If I've got your name wrong, sir, I apologise, but it's nice to meet you. Any questions?
No questions. No, it is Fugiel. No, I'm ex Unify engineer anyway, so I've just come on to see what latest products really.
Okay, well, thanks so much for taking the time for coming on. It's awfully rude of me, but Sharon is there. Sharon, thank you so much for coming on. Any questions?
Oh, sorry, can you hear me? I must admit I did miss some of the presentation because I'm working. I'll be pleased to look at the slides when you send them through. And
okay.
Yeah, and I'll come back to you with any questions after I've seen the whole thing again.
Okay, it's fantastic. And thanks so much for taking the time and effort for coming on.
That's okay, thank you.
Right. I think spoken to. I think I've, from what I can see, I've got my glasses on. I've pretty much the people that I don't know, I've said hello to and got some questions out. So that's brilliant. Are there any questions before we end the meeting, ladies and gents? Anything else that you need to know?
Alan, I've got that noted, and we'll let you know. We'll let everybody know about this decked registration. I think it would be good to communicate that out.
Yeah, we will find that out and come back to you ASAP. So all that leaves me to do is to say Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you so much for coming on. Hopefully it wasn't too dull. For anybody that wants to, by the way, you're more than welcome to come and see us. If I zoom out, give you a better idea of this is what we call our Excellence and Technical Centre. So this is where we train people. So if you wanted to come down and get hands-on, play with the headsets and talk about strategies, then myself, Rob, Simon and Babs and Mike would welcome you onto the call. So that's it for me. Have a wonderful day. Happy New Year. And yeah, let's get selling some headsets. See you later, guys. Take care.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Bye.